It's 114 degrees on a roof in Phoenix, Arizona. Your gloves are soaked through, the racking rail is hot enough to brand you, and you're carrying a 50-pound solar panel up a ladder for the 40th time today. You make $17 an hour. The guy driving by in the air-conditioned truck with a clipboard? He makes six figures deciding whether your work passes. 22 years from now, a hospital will keep its lights on through a blackout because of a system your company built, and that clipboard will have your logo on it. This is your life as every rank of solar installer. Nobody calls you an installer yet. You're a helper, the trade's polite word for a human forklift. Your job: stage panels, carry ballast blocks, hand tools up, and stay hydrated enough not to become a safety briefing. The pay is $17.50 an hour, about $36,000 a year, and your first lesson in solar isn't electrical. It's thermal. Black rooftops in summer run 40 degrees hotter than the air. You learn to start at 5 a.m. and to respect anyone who's done this for a decade. The financial spine of your life starts ugly. $1,100 rent split 3 ways, a $3,400 used pickup, and $310 left over each month. You bank $250 of it anyway, because the crew's old-timer, Ray, tells you the sentence you'll repeat for 20 years. Panels degrade 0.5% a year, kid. Don't let your money do the same. At night you notice something the guys ignore. The inspector, the clipboard guy, fails 1 in 5 jobs for flashing and torque errors. You start reading the installation manuals in the truck. Nobody asked you to. That's the whole trick. You get the title and the raise. $23 an hour, $48,000 with overtime. Now you're the one setting rails, flashing roof penetrations, and torquing clamps to spec. 16 foot-pounds, checked twice, because a loose mid-clamp in a windstorm turns a panel into a kite with a lawyer attached. You learn the anatomy of the job America doesn't see. It's not glamorous tech work, it's roofing plus electrical plus weather. The company offers a 401k with a 3% match, and you almost skip the paperwork. Ray physically hands you the form. That 3% match is a 100% return on the day it lands. You will never again find a guaranteed 100% return, and it takes you 4 minutes to sign. Your quality gets noticed for a boring reason. Your job stopped failing inspection. The clipboard guy, his name is Dennis, it turns out, signs off on your roof in 11 minutes flat and says nothing, which from Dennis is a standing ovation. Net worth at $29,800. It's not the number that matters. It's that the line finally points up. 2 years in, you run the roof. Lead installer, $29 an hour, roughly $63,000 with the summer overtime that never ends. Your crew is 3 guys, and your job description quietly doubled. Install the system and keep everyone alive and efficient while doing it. You develop the lead's sixth sense. You can hear a wrong torque click from across the roof. You also discover the skill that separates roof labor from career track. You learn to read plan sets, single-line diagrams, stringing layouts, setback requirements. The office guys are shocked a roof guy catches their design errors before the crew wastes a day. Here's the money math nobody taught you in school. Your first ruler for everything. Residential solar sells for about $3 a watt and costs about $2 to build. Labor is maybe 30 cents of that. Every mistake on the roof eats the thinnest slice of margin there is. Understand the dollars per watt of your own labor, and you understand the entire industry above you. You buy a $7,000 motorcycle in cash, your one indulgence, and keep investing $700 a month. Portfolio, $31,000. Dennis fails a competitor's job next door and nods at yours. You're 22 and you have a reputation. You make the smart move. Enroll as an electrician apprentice, because in this industry the license is the ladder. Nights in code class learning conduit fill and grounding electrode conductors. Days pulling wire at $26 an hour, a pay cut from lead, and you take it, because trajectory beats salary. Then the industry teaches you its signature lesson. The state utility commission slashes net metering credits, the rate homeowners get for exported power, and overnight the payback math for customers breaks. Sales fall off a cliff. Your company, 140 employees, files for bankruptcy in March. This is the solar coaster, and every veteran has this scar. An industry built on policy rides policy, up and down. You're laid off at 24 with a half-finished apprenticeship, $2,900 in monthly obligations, and a decision. Some of your crew leave solar forever. You do the math instead. The panels still work, the sun is still free, and the electricians are still employed. The demand didn't die, the business model did. Your emergency fund, 6 months, built on Ray's boring advice, buys you the calm to transfer your apprenticeship hours to an electrical contractor instead of panicking into the first job available. Setback absorbed. Rank kept. 27. And you're holding the 2 pieces of paper that change everything. A journeyman electrician license and the NABCEP PV installation professional certification. The closest thing solar has to a black belt, and fewer than 1 in 20 installers ever sit for it. Your rate, $38 an hour base, $86,000 a year, and suddenly you get the calls. Service and troubleshooting work, the highest margin corner of the trade, becomes your specialty. Ground faults, arc fault trips, inverters that die politely, and ones that die loud. You charge for what the whole industry lacks, people who can diagnose. Quick math break, because this level is where your net worth mechanics flip. You now invest $2,000 a month. At 7% average returns, that's not saving. That's hiring 24 tiny employees a year who work while you sleep and never call in sick. Portfolio crosses $110,000. Dennis retires. At his cookout, he tells you the quiet part. Inspectors always knew whose work needed checking and whose didn't. Yours didn't. Reputation, it turns out, compounds at a better rate than the market. Federal energy legislation floods the country with utility-scale projects, and prevailing wage rules mean certified electricians on those sites earn what union linemen envy. $58 an hour loaded, per diem on top, 7-day weeks in the desert. You take the road. Man camps in Texas, a 400-megawatt site that stretches past the horizon. 2 hours to drive the perimeter of a single power plant made of glass. You stack $168,000 in 1 year while living on per diem, and the money goes where Ray trained it to go. A rental duplex back home, 25% down, and index funds you refuse to check daily. The cost column. Honestly, you miss your niece's first birthday, your girlfriend gets tired of video call anniversaries, and the man in the mirror is 29 going on 45. One night a crewmate, 20 years in, 3 divorces, tells you the sentence that ends your travel career on schedule instead of never. The per diem pays for the hotel, kid. It doesn't pay for what's not in it. You give the road 18 more months. Not 1 day more. Net worth at the end of it, $410,000. A Tuesday. Commercial job, 480-volt switchgear. A contractor 2 bays over skips the lockout verification to save 9 minutes. The arc flash reaches 19,000 degrees, hotter than the surface of the sun you've spent a decade harvesting. And a man you ate lunch with spends 4 months in a burn unit. He lives. His hands don't fully come back. You become the person on every site who is insufferable about arc flash boundaries, PPE categories, and testing before touching. And you discover this reputation is a career asset, not a cost, because the companies with real safety culture are the ones still standing in 10 years. The financial lesson arrives wearing the same uniform. Money has a defense too. You audit your own life like a job site. $1.5 million term life at $61 a month, disability coverage, an umbrella policy, beneficiaries updated. Offense builds wealth, defense keeps it. At 31, your net worth passes $520,000, and for the first time you understand what it's actually for. It's the option to work because you choose to, not because Tuesday can end you. The regional installer that hires you off the road doesn't want your hands, it wants your eyes. Operations manager, $115,000 salary, truck, bonus tied to install quality and crew safety. Your job is now spreadsheets that bleed. Crew days per project, permits stuck in queues, the interconnection backlog that leaves finished systems dark for months waiting on utility approval. The industry's dirty secret, and you build the tracking system that cuts your company's wait time by 1/3. You learn the business math above the roof math. The company sells at $3.10 a watt, builds at $2.15, and the entire profit lives in the 30 cents that operations controls. You are, functionally, the margin. Part of you grieves the roof, the clean tiredness of it. Your knees don't. At home, there is finally a home. A wife who knew the deal. A kid who thinks panels are sun batteries. dinner's your present for. The travel years bought this. The trick was knowing when to stop paying. Portfolio and rentals now throw off $38,000 a year without you lifting a wrench. Regional Operations Director. $152,000 plus bonus, 40 crews across 2 states, and a phone that never fully sleeps. Your days are interconnection queues, AHJ negotiations, fleet telematics, and the eternal war between what sales promised and what physics permits. The industry has matured around you. Storage on every other job now. Batteries turning solar from a money saver into a resilience product. And you retooled every crew for it a year before your competitors because you read policy dockets the way you once read plan sets. A moment you don't tell anyone about. The new municipal inspector on your biggest commercial job introduces himself nervously, and you realize you are now the clipboard. You sign off on nothing that you wouldn't have built at 22. Passive income crosses $60,000 a year. Your investments out-earn the panel humper you were, twice over. Headhunters call monthly. You take none of the calls because you're taking meetings with a bank instead. There's one rank left, and no one appoints you to it. You sign the lease on a warehouse, buy 2 vans at auction, and put your name, actually your logo, on the master electrical permit. Your own installation company, residential, small commercial, service, and storage. Year 1 nearly drowns you in the boring way, cash flow. Suppliers want net, 15, utilities and financiers pay in 90. Year 2 you crack the code your whole career prepared you for. You don't compete on price per watt. You compete on never-failing inspection and answering the phone in year 6, and referral work compounds like raise index funds. Year 3, $380,000 in personal income, 11 employees, and a service division with margins the install side dreams about. Net worth, $1.9 million. Markets, rentals, and a business that runs on the checklist you wrote. Then the blackout. A summer storm takes the grid down for 2 days, and the hospital whose solar plus storage system your crew commissioned never flickers. You drive past it at night, wards lit against a dark city, your kid in the passenger seat asking how it works. You start with the sun and a 19-year-old on a hot roof, carrying panel number 40. 10 ranks, 22 years. From $17.50 an hour and a burnt pair of gloves to $1.9 million and a company that keeps hospitals lit. No degree, a license, a certification, 10,000 roofs of reputation, and money that learned to work shifts you didn't. The sun didn't make you rich. Showing up under it, rank after rank, did. If you want more careers broken down paycheck by paycheck, subscribe. Next episode, we climb a different ladder.